The sound of the dumbbells hitting the rubber floor was loud, but it was not as loud as my heartbeat when she said it. My legs are sore from squats. Can you help me recover? They really hurt. Elena sat on the flat bench in front of me, leaning forward, elbows on her knees, one hand on the bench to keep her balance. Her gray tank top was damp at the collar. Her black leggings hugged strong legs that had just pushed through heavy sets. There was a light shine of sweat on her collarbone, and a little strand of dark hair stuck to her temple. She did not look like the woman who owned half of everything in this building. She did not look like the corporate shark who came in last week to audit us and decide who stayed and who got fired. Right now, she just looked like a woman in pain. "Can you massage them, please?" she said, rubbing her left quad with her fingers. They really hurt. Every rule from the employee handbook flashed in my head like a warning sign. No extra touch, no massage, no contact that could be called personal, especially not with the one woman who could end my career with one email. I held the clipboard tighter in my hand. The paper shook a little. Behind Elena, high up on the mezzanine, I could see Brad in his glass office. The general manager. My boss. He stood with his arms crossed, watching the gym floor like a hawk, watching me. "Elena, I can show you some foam rolling," I said, trying to keep my voice calm and professional. "Or I can get the percussion gun. It works great for sore quads." "I cannot reach the spot," she said. Her voice dropped. It slid under the loud pop music and the hum of treadmills. Her eyes met mine, deep and steady. "I trust you. Just work out the knot, please." The air felt thick. The AC was running cold from the vent above us, but my skin felt hot. If I said no, I would look like a trainer who would not help a client in pain. If I said yes, and Brad decided to twist it, I was finished. My promotion would be gone. The extra pay I needed to keep my dad in his rehab center would be gone. His therapy would get cut back again. Less time walking, less time talking, less hope, all because I laid a hand on the wrong client. 30 seconds, I said. Over the fabric only, clinical. I moved so my body was between her and the glass office upstairs. I grabbed the percussion gun from the recovery cart, set it to the lowest speed, and knelt beside her. My hand never went under the hem of her shorts. I stayed on the outside of her quad, the same way I had done for 100 athletes. I kept my eyes on the muscle, not on her face. "How is that?" I asked, running the gun along the tight line of her muscle. "Right there," she said, quick and tight. She let out one breath that sounded like relief, not a show. I stopped at once. "You tell me if it is too much," I said. "It is fine," she said. Her eyes lifted to mine. "Thank you." I stood up fast and put the percussion gun back. Like it was hot. My heart would not slow down. This was going to be a problem. We finished the session 6 minutes later. I ran her through cool-down stretches, wrote down her numbers on the clipboard, and watched her walk toward the locker room with a slight limp that made my chest pull tight. For the next 3 hours, I trained other people on autopilot. Old guys in tech hoodies, bankers in fancy shorts, gym bros who loaded plates they could not control. I cued heels down, chest up, shoulders back. I smiled when I needed to. I corrected form like I always did. But my mind stayed back at that bench, with my hand on Elena's leg, and Brad watching like a vulture. Elysium Fitness was not just a gym. It was a glass and chrome temple for rich people who wanted to feel like athletes for an hour. Memberships were more than my rent. The lights were bright, the mirrors were spotless, and the pressure never stopped. I was 28, senior trainer, the guy people asked for when they wanted results and did not want fake small talk. I was also the guy with a father in a rehab center across town, bills coming in every week. My phone buzzed all day with numbers from the billing office. If I missed a payment, they cut his therapy hours. If they cut his hours, he lost progress. If he lost progress, he stayed longer. More money, more time, more fear. Brad knew all of that. He had walked by once when I was on the phone begging the center for one more week at the current plan. After that, he liked to drop comments on me like weights. "Benefits are a gift, Zane," he had said once, smiling that thin smile. "Promotions are earned." and they can be taken away. He liked me hungry. He liked me scared. It kept me in line. Now Elena was a wild card he could not control. That made him dangerous. "You are playing with fire, man," Marco said later, leaning against the squat rack while I re-racked plates from my own quick workout. He was the other trainer on the night shift, all tattoos and jokes, but his eyes were dead serious. "I was doing my job," I said. "She had a cramp." "She is not just a client," he said. "She is the axe. Sarah at the front desk says she already flagged 2 trainers for performance review. That is code for fired. And you are Brad's problem. You are the favorite for head trainer. He wants his brother in that spot." I looked up at the mezzanine. Brad stood there with his phone in his hand, staring straight down at me. He did not look away. I racked the bar harder than I needed to, so I keep it clean, I said. "Textbook, safe." "That is the plan," Marco said. "Stick to it." Elena came out of the locker room a few minutes later. The woman who stepped into the lobby did not look like the one I had just helped at the bench. She wore a sharp charcoal suit, heels, hair pulled into a tight bun. It was like someone had flipped a switch. The soft, tense woman, asking for help with sore legs, was gone. In her place was the executive who held my job in her hands. She walked past the floor like she did not feel eyes on her, like she did not feel my stare. She typed on her phone while she walked, business face locked on. She did not look at me. But as she passed the front desk, she paused for half a second. Her hand dropped to her thigh, right where my hand had worked out the knot, fingers pressing the spot like a ghost of the pain was still there. Then she was gone. The glass door slid open, cold air rushed in, and she stepped out into the Chicago evening. I looked down at my schedule screen on the wall tablet. Tomorrow. 6:30 p.m. Elena V. I stared at those letters until they stopped looking like a name and started looking like a warning. She had sore legs. I had rules and a boss who wanted a reason to end me. And we had 7 more weeks of this audit to survive. 3 days later, the sky over Chicago opened up and the rain came down hard. The whole gym shook with thunder. That was the night everything between us really changed. 3 days later, the storm hit. Chicago turned dark early. By 9 at night, rain was slamming against the tall windows so hard the city lights outside looked like they were melting. The gym was almost empty. The music was low. The treadmills were off, and the air felt thick and heavy. It was 9:45 p.m. We closed at 10. I was alone in the free weight area, putting dumbbells back in order because chaos on the rack made my skin itch. I thought I was the last one on the floor. Then I heard it. A sharp clatter from the yoga studio down the hall. Not a normal sound. Something solid hitting wood. Something wrong. I walked toward the sound, moving quick, sneakers silent on the rubber. The lights in the hallway flickered a little as the storm hit the building again. Through the glass door of the studio, I saw her. Elena was on the floor, sitting in the middle of a mess of resistance bands. One ankle was stretched out in front of her, her hand gripping it tight. Her face was pale, not the cool business look. Real pain. I pushed the door open. "Elena," I said. "I am fine." She snapped on reflex and tried to stand. She put weight on that ankle, and it gave out under her. She dropped back with a sharp breath through her teeth. "You are not fine," I said, crossing the room in 2 strides. I dropped to one knee beside her. This time, I did not ask if I could help. I just did it. I put one hand on her shoulder, one under her calf, and eased her leg up so I could see. The joint was already swelling. Heat under my fingers. The skin stretched tight. "What happened?" I asked. "I rushed," she said with a bitter little laugh. "I tried to squeeze a workout in after the last meeting. The band slipped. I rolled it. I know better." Her eyes met mine and I saw it there. Not just pain, fear. "I cannot drive like this," she said. "I cannot call a car. I have confidential files in my trunk. I cannot leave my car here." "I will drive you," I said. The answer came out without thinking. "Zane, you cannot," she said. "Policy. You know Brad. He will twist it." "Screw the policy," I said. You are hurt. This is not a date. This is me doing my job." I stood and held out my hand. She stared at it like it was a test. Then she took it. Her grip was strong but shaky. When I pulled her up, she stumbled and fell into me. Her weight hit my chest, and my hands went to her waist to steady her. Her heart was beating fast. I could feel it through her suit jacket. That vanilla scent from her perfume wrapped around me again, mixed with the smell of rain on her clothes. For 3 long seconds, the world shrank to that studio. Her, me, and the sound of the storm. "Lean on me," I said, my voice low. "Okay," she said. I helped her hop out to the lobby, my arm around her waist. Every camera in the ceiling felt like an eye. We made it to her car in the underground parking. A black sedan. Clean. Practical. Expensive. I got her into the passenger seat, then ran back inside for ice. The only thing I found was a bag of frozen peas in the staff freezer. I wrapped it in a clean towel and pressed it gently against her ankle. "That is very high-level medical care," she said, trying to smile. "Do not insult my peas," I said. On the way out of the garage, I saw it in the mirror. A black SUV, the same model Brad liked to drive. The same shape, the same broken headlight. It did not follow close enough to prove anything, just enough to stay in sight. "We are being watched," I said quietly. Elena looked into her side mirror, saw it, and then leaned back against the headrest. "Let him watch," she said. "He cannot change what happened. He can only twist what we give him." Her phone lit up twice with calls. She ignored both. "If you need to take that, I am fine," I said. "If I take it, I become her again," she said, nodding at her suit. "And right now, I am the idiot who rolled her ankle in a yoga studio and is riding home with the one person who tells her the truth." That hit deeper than I wanted to admit. When we reached her building, the city felt smaller. Her tower rose above the street, glass and steel and money. I pulled into the drop-off zone. "Thank you, Zane," she said, voice a little more formal now as she put her hand on the door handle. "You went above and beyond." "I just made sure you got home safe," I said. "Text me when you are inside." Her eyes softened. She nodded. "Okay," she said. "I will." Our fingers brushed when I handed her the keys. Static popped between our skin. It made her flinch just a little. The next morning, the price showed up. I was lining up kettlebells when Brad walked over. He never came down to the floor unless he wanted to put on a show. "Zane," he said. He used my name like a threat. Saw the security footage from last night. I straightened slowly. She rolled her ankle. I said. I helped her to her car. "Is that what you call it?" he said with a smirk. "Looks like you were getting very close with the woman who signs my paycheck." Leaving together late. Touching. That is not the picture I want in an audit. "I did what any decent trainer would do," I said. "You would have done the same." He laughed once, short and fake. "I am giving you a verbal warning," he said. "Strike one. Keep it professional. I do not care how much she likes your programming." My jaw clenched. "Understood," I said. Later that day, Elena came in for a modified session. She wore high-end leggings and a loose tee, ankle-taped, walking with a small limp. She did not meet my eyes at first. When we reached the bench, she picked at the end of the wrist wrap. "I think we should switch my trainer," she said. She looked down at the floor while she spoke. "It might be cleaner." For a second, it felt like someone hit me in the chest. "Is that what you want?" I asked, keeping my voice low. "Or is that what you think you should do because of Brad and a camera?" She looked up, surprised by my tone. "I am the best trainer here for you," I said, making each word calm and clear. "I know your knee history. I know your form. I know where you push too hard and where you hold back. If you switch to Marco or the new guy, your numbers will fall. Your progress will slow. Do you want to be safe or do you want results?" Her chin lifted. The fire came back into her eyes. "I want results," she said. "Then we stick to the plan," I said. "We keep it clean. We keep it professional. We keep you strong. We give Brad nothing to twist." She held my gaze for a long second. Her cheeks flushed just a little. "Okay," she said. Over the next 3 weeks, we built a new pattern. Her name stayed on my schedule at 8 in the evening, last slot of the day. The gym was thinner then. Fewer eyes. Fewer phones. The air felt softer. The lights seemed dimmer even when they were not. I started seeing the small things about her. The way she rubbed her left temple with 2 fingers when a migraine was coming on. The way she hummed a tiny bit of a Fleetwood Mac song during planks, just quiet enough that no one but me could hear. The way she scrunched her nose every time she drank the blue raspberry electrolyte drink from the vending machine, but bought it anyway because it was the only flavor left. One Tuesday she came in looking wrecked, dark circles under her eyes, shoulders tight. She sat on the bench and stared at the dumbbells like they were a fight she did not have energy for. I watched her for a moment. Then I walked to the back, to the staff cooler. I opened it, reached past the energy drinks, and pulled out the lemon-lime bottle I had bought at the corner store that morning and hidden there. I cracked the seal and set it beside her on the bench. She looked at it, then at me. "How did you know?" she asked. "The blue one makes you scrunch your nose," I said, adjusting the cable machine. "Drink, we are doing back today." Her mouth curved, a real smile, not a polite one. "Thank you, Zane," she said. "That Thursday, the AC died in the cardio room. It was like running in a sauna. Members complained." Brad yelled at a repair tech over the phone. Nothing changed. I walked into Elena's small office. She was sitting at her desk, fanning herself with a file folder, sweat gathering at her hairline. I did not say anything. I went to the break room, soaked a clean towel in ice water, wrung it so it was just cool and damp, then went back and held it out. "Here," I said. She pressed it to her neck and closed her eyes. Her shoulders dropped as the cold hit her skin. "Oh God," she said, "you are a lifesaver." "It is just a towel," I said. "No," she said, opening her eyes. "It is someone paying attention." That day, something shifted. She was not just the woman in the suit anymore, not just the client, not just the auditor. She was Elena. Tired, strong, funny when she let herself be, carrying more than anyone could see from the outside. I was supposed to keep my distance. Instead, I found myself wanting to move closer. The gym gave us one more test before the big one. Friday night. Packed floor, music loud, everyone trying to show off before the weekend. A new member loaded way too much weight onto a bar for deadlifts. I saw his back round from across the room. The plate started to roll away from him. The bar drifted from his legs. It was a back injury waiting to happen. Before I could get there, Elena moved. "Drop it," she said, sharp and calm, stepping into his line of sight. Her voice cut through the noise. The guy froze for half a second. It was enough. I reached him, put my hands on his hips, guided him back, and helped him let go of the bar. The plates hit the platform with a heavy thud instead of his spine. He started to argue, red with embarrassment. "You are not weak," Elena said, voice steady. "You are careless. You can get coaching or you can get a refund and train somewhere else." The guy shut up. The crowd pretended to go back to their workouts. My respect for her doubled in that one moment. When the adrenaline faded, I found her by the water cooler. She was flexing her hand, a frown between her brows. "You okay?" I asked. "Fine," she said, but I saw the skin on her knuckles, scraped where she had braced her hand on the edge of the platform. I did not make a big deal out of it. I just went to the first aid kit, grabbed wipes and a bandage, and came back. "Give me your hand," I said. She hesitated, then held it out. I cleaned the scrape, gentle and quick, then wrapped it. No jokes, no flirting, just care. "You do not miss details," she said, watching my hands. "It is my job," I said. "It is more than that," she answered softly. From the mezzanine, I could feel Brad's eyes on us again. I stepped back. "I am just observant," I said. That night we ate takeout on the stretching mats after closing. The rain was back, hitting the windows. The lights were low. Boxes of Thai food sat between us. "Why are you here, Zane?" she asked, poking at her noodles. "You are too good for a fancy gym like this." "My dad," I said before I could stop myself. "He had a stroke last year. Rehab is expensive, I need the insurance. I need the steady income. I need this place until he can walk on his own again." She went quiet. "You are a good son," she said. "I am just doing what has to be done," I said. "Most men run when it gets hard," she said, looking down at her food. "My ex did." I wanted to reach out and take her hand. I wanted to tell her I was not going anywhere. I sat on my hands instead. My knuckles went white. Later, when we walked to the front desk, Brad tried to step in front of us with a big, fake smile. "Miss Vance," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "We pride ourselves on professional standards here. I hope your experience has matched that." Elena's face did not change. "I agree," she said. "Which is why I expect you to stop hovering over my staff like a security camera. Spend more time on your numbers. That will help the brand more." His smile slipped. He looked at me, then back at her, then walked away with his jaw tight. "You did not have to do that," I said when we were out of earshot. "Yes, I did," she said. "He needs to know who actually runs this place." As she turned away, I saw her shoulders shake once, not from fear, from anger, from pressure, from being tired of standing alone. I went home that night with my head full of her laugh, her scraped knuckles, the cold towel at her neck, the way she moved in front of that bar to protect a stranger. I had started this job thinking I needed this promotion for my dad. Now I wanted something else just as badly. I wanted to be the man she looked at when she needed someone she could trust. Week 6 was waiting for us, like a storm building over the lake. And it was not going to be gentle. I knew week 6 would be bad the moment I saw Marco's face. He caught my arm by the supply closet, eyes wide, like the building itself had whispered a secret in his ear. "Not out here," he said. "Too many ears." He pulled me into the narrow closet and shut the door. The smell of detergent and rubber hit me. He checked the hall like Brad might be hiding in a mop bucket, then pulled a folded paper from his pocket. "I found this jammed in the back office printer," he said. "Brad does not know I saw it." He handed it to me. The page was warm and streaked with black toner. At the top, in bold letters, was a header from the audit. The same audit Elena had been working on since she walked in here with her clipboard and her suit. Below that, a line that made my stomach twist. Recommendation: terminate General Manager Brad S. Promote Senior Trainer Zane C. to Head of Training. For a second, my chest felt too tight to breathe. This was the thing I had been killing myself for. The raise, the security, the better health plan, the title. And it looked like a bomb. "Where exactly did you find it?" I asked. "In the tray," he said. "Printer had a jam. I cleared it out, and this was stuck behind the rollers, like the machine was trying to hide it and failed." He scrubbed a hand over his face. "Brad was on a call before that," he added. "He was talking about leverage, acting like he still had time to flip the board. He knows something is coming, he just does not know what yet." Quote, "I folded the page and slid it into my pocket, so we keep this quiet," I said. "Until the board votes," Marco said. "Until it is official, and he cannot turn it into some story about you sleeping your way into a promotion." Heat burned the back of my neck. "I am not sleeping with anyone," I said. "I know that," Marco said. "Elena knows that. But guys like Brad do not live in the real world. They live in stories they can sell." I found Elena near the elevator lobby after closing that night. The gym was half dark. Only a few lights were on. The rain was tapping the high windows again. She stood with her coat over her arm, staring at the elevator doors like she was facing a judge. Her fingers were picking at the seam of the coat in small, tight pulls. "Elena," I said. She turned. The second her eyes dropped to the folded paper in my hand, color left her face. "You were not supposed to see that yet," she said, voice low. "I did not find it on your desk," I said. Marco pulled it from the printer, jammed, wrinkled, like the universe wanted it in my hands. Her jaw tightened. The anger there was not for me. It was for the mess. "The audit is real," she said. "The numbers are real. Brad has been bleeding this place dry and hiding it. The recommendation is to fire him and make you head of training. It was supposed to go to the board tomorrow. And now it is sitting in my pocket," I said. And if he sees it first, he will scream that you handed me the job because of some made-up thing between us." The elevator dinged. The doors slid open. She stepped inside. I followed, staying near the other wall. My hands were at my sides, open, like I was proving I was not touching anything I should not. "If the board thinks I pushed this through because of anything personal," she said, staring at the floor numbers, "it all collapses. The audit, the changes, the promotion, everything. I will not let you risk your name for my raise," I said. Her eyes snapped to mine. "Your promotion is not a gift," she said. "It is this place catching up to reality." The elevator hummed. For a moment, the metal box felt smaller than it should, like the walls were listening. "People will talk," I said. "They already are." "Let them talk," she said. "We keep facts clean. We keep our choices clean." The doors opened into the lobby. Brad was standing there. He looked like he had been waiting for that elevator to open all night. His gaze moved from her face to mine and back again. He took in the folded paper in my hand. He saw the distance between us. He saw a half-second too much. A slow, ugly smile spread across his mouth. He knew just enough to be dangerous. The next morning, the hit came. I was checking the plates by the squat rack when my phone buzzed in my pocket. Not a normal buzz. A constant stream. Marco rushed over. "Check the staff chat," he said. I opened the group thread. An unknown number had dropped a photo there. A screenshot from our own security cameras. It was from the night of the storm. The angle was bad. The image grainy, but it was clear enough. Me with my arm around Elena's waist, her body pressed into my side. The caption under it made my jaw clench. "Assessment or favoritism? Are we still a professional club?" Quote. More messages were already popping underneath, shocked emojis, question marks, nervous jokes. "Brad," I said under my breath. I stormed toward the office, but Elena stepped into the hallway in front of me, holding a tablet. Her hands were shaking. "The board saw it," she said. Her voice was thin, like it had been scraped raw. "Brad sent it to the partners this morning. He is claiming we are sleeping together," she went on. "He is saying I am firing him and promoting you because I am biased. He is threatening to sue for wrongful termination and for defamation." "I will tell them the truth," I said. "Nothing happened. You hurt your ankle. I helped you to your car. That is the whole story." "It does not matter what actually happened," she said, pacing in the narrow hall. "My reputation is my currency. I am the fixer. If they think I use the company to pay for some fling, I lose standing. The brand takes a hit. They will not trust my calls on anything." She pressed the heel of her hand to her forehead. "And you," she added, "they will blacklist you. No club will touch a trainer who looks like he traded the rules for a promotion." "So what do we do?" I asked. "I have to step back," she said, eyes bright with tears she did not let fall. "I have to recuse myself from any decision that touches you or Brad. HR has to run the review and the promotion. Independent. No vote from me, no comment from me." It was the right thing. It still hurt like a cut. "I cannot promote you," she said. "Not now. And I cannot be your client anymore. It is the only way to prove this is not about us." The words landed like a punch. "You are keeping him," I said, "and losing me, to protect appearances." "I am choosing the company," she snapped, but I heard the crack under it. "I cannot let my family's business burn because I am seen as careless." "This job was for my dad," I said, "but I care about you more than the paycheck now. If you want me gone, say it." "I cannot ask you to quit," she whispered. "You are not asking," I said. "You are trying to stand on two sides at once." Her eyes filled. She looked away. "Zane," she said, "please." Quote, "This is not the woman who stepped in front of that bar and told a stranger to drop the weight," I said. "This is someone scared of shadows." "That is not fair," she said. "You are right," I said. Fair left the building the day Brad started using cameras like weapons. I stepped past her. "Zane," she said again. I did not look back. For 2 days, the gym felt like a place I did not belong in anymore. I trained my other clients, answered questions, fixed form. but it was like I was walking through water. Brad walked around like a king. He smiled too wide. He said, "Team," too often. He made sure I heard him laugh near the office. On the third day, the owners called an all-hands meeting. Everyone gathered on the turf. Trainers, front desk, maintenance. The air was full of nervous whispers. Elena stood off to the side in a simple black dress, eyes shadowed, hands clasped so tight I could see the white in her knuckles. Brad stepped forward first, fake humble. "I want to address the rumors," he said, "concerns about leadership and standards." "Shut up, Brad," I said. I did not raise my voice. I did not need to. The words rolled out clear and calm and carried across the gym like a bar dropping on a rack. Silence fell. I walked to the middle of the group and turned to face the owners first, then the staff, then Elena. "The photo you all saw," I said, "was taken the night Miss Vance rolled her ankle in the yoga studio. I helped her to her car. That is the whole story. There was no line crossed. No deal. No trade." I took a breath. My heart pounded, but my voice stayed steady. "However," I said, "I have lost the ability to be neutral. I respect Miss Vance too much to pretend I can be just another employee while someone like him uses her name as a weapon." I looked at Brad. "I will not work under a manager who uses blackmail as policy," I said, "so I am resigning. Effective now." Gasps moved through the group in waves. I turned to the owners. "Miss Vance has been nothing but professional," I said. "If there has been a failure in boundaries, put it on me, not her. Do not let Brad turn his own behavior into a story that ruins her." Quote. Then I turned back to Brad and let myself smile once. "For the record," I said, "your squat form is still trash." I walked toward the locker room. I did not look at Elena. If I did, I might have stayed. I had just thrown away my job, my promotion, and maybe my safety net. But it was the only move I had left that kept her name clean. And for the first time in a long time, the weight on my shoulders felt like something I had chosen to pick up. I thought walking out would feel like freedom. It did not. My apartment was quiet in a way that made my skin crawl. No music, no clank of plates, no treadmill hum. Just rain at the window and the tick of the cheap wall clock. I spread my bills on the table and did the math. Rent, food, gas, my dad's rehab. If I stretched every dollar until it screamed, I could keep him in full treatment for 3 more months. After that, I did not know. I still smelled the gym on my hands. Chalk. Rubber. Her perfume. I missed Elysium, I missed the weight room and the noise. But more than any of that, I missed Elena. I missed her humming under her breath. I missed the way she pretended to hate my jokes. I missed the way she shifted from steel to soft in one breath when she dropped the work mask. 4 days passed. No calls, no texts. Only my dad's rehab center asking again for payment dates, and my own brain replaying the scene on the turf. I had started to search job boards when a sharp knock hit my door. It was late. The hallway light outside my apartment was dim. I opened the door ready to send away a flyer or a neighbor. It was her. Elena stood there in a tan trench coat that was soaked through. Rain dripped from the ends of her hair. Her cheeks were pink from the cold. Her eyes were bright with anger and something else. "You idiot," she said. "Hello to you, too," I said, leaning on the door frame because my legs felt unsteady. She stepped inside without waiting for an invite. Water hit my worn rug. She shook out her hair and glared at me. "You fell on your sword," she said. "You quit. You took the blame. You threw away your job." "It solved your problem," I said. "Brad has no leverage now. He cannot use that photo on you. He cannot sue you for firing him." "I fired Brad 10 minutes after you left," she said. I stared at her. "What?" I asked. "I fired him," she said again. "Then I called our lawyer. We pulled the original footage from every camera. We pulled his messages. We pulled the staff chat. We locked his email. HR has a full file on his blackmail, and he is about to have a very bad meeting with the board." "What about me?" I asked. The words came out softer than I wanted them to. She took a step closer. Her hair was still wet. She smelled like rain instead of vanilla this time. "I told my brother everything," she said. I told him Brad was trying to twist facts. I told him that you were the one man in that building who did the right thing when it hurt. I told him that if he kept Brad and let you walk, he would lose me too. You risked your equity, I said. I risked everything, she said. Because I finally realized I did not want to be safe. I wanted this place to be honest. And I wanted you. The room went very still. Water dripped from the edge of her coat onto my floor. I swallowed. What did the board say? I asked. They opened an independent review, she said. HR and the other partners are handling your promotion. I am recused. I do not get a vote. I do not get to sit in the room. It will either happen because you deserve it, or it will not happen at all. But it will not be because of a photo or because of me. You really told them all of that, I said. Yes, she said. And one more thing. She closed the distance between us, grabbed both sides of my shirt, and tugged me down to her. The kiss hit like the first time you step into a hot shower after a winter run. Warm and shocking and so right that my knees almost gave out. She was cold from the rain. Her lips were not. She pressed closer, fingers curling in my shirt, like she had been holding this in for weeks. My hands moved to her waist and stayed there. Steady. Anchoring. Not grabbing. Not claiming. Just holding her up while she finally let go. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. My legs are sore, she said, a small smile pushing through the emotion. Not from squats. From pacing my office trying to figure out how to tell you all of that. I can handle your recovery plan, I said, feeling a laugh break out in my chest for the first time in days. We both laughed then. Real laughs. The kind that start low and shake out some of the fear you did not know you were still carrying. We hung her coat in my tiny hallway and sat on my beat-up couch. She told me how the board had reacted, how they watched the uncut tape and saw the truth, how they saw Brad send the photo with his little note, how the legal department had looked like they were going to eat him alive. I do not know what they will decide about you yet, she said. HR is talking to everyone. They are looking at numbers. They are looking at your record. It will take a little time. I can wait, I said, as long as it is clean. It will be, she said. I will not let them drag you into the mud. We sat there in silence for a moment, rain still hitting the window behind us. I never wanted you to quit, she said quietly. I just could not see a way out that did not cost us everything. Quote, I did not quit to hurt you, I said. I quit to show them you did not own me, to show them there was no deal. I know, she said, and that is exactly why I am here. 6 weeks later, I was back on the gym floor. The logo on my shirt was the same. The name under it was different, head of training. The board had voted. HR had signed off. Elena had stayed out of the room. When the call came from her brother, I sat down on my couch and stayed there until my heart slowed. Now I walked the floor with a tablet in my hand, checking programs, watching form, coaching the new trainers. The air felt different, lighter. The staff moved with more purpose. The gossip had died under the weight of actual facts. Chest up, Johnson. I called to a regular on the bench press. We are not burying your ribs today. He laughed and adjusted. The front door slid open and a small wave of sound rippled through the lobby. I looked up without meaning to. She walked in. Elena did not wear a suit that day. She wore black leggings, a deep blue tank, and her hair in a simple ponytail. No clipboard. No guard. She waved at Sarah at the front desk, took a towel, and walked straight toward me. The trainer saw it. The member saw it. The camera saw it. She did not care. Hey, boss, she said, eyes bright. Hey, boss, I said back, because technically she was still my boss too. She reached out and touched the logo on my chest with 2 fingers. Then she adjusted the collar of my shirt, like she was fixing something small and important. Her hand stayed there a beat longer than it needed to. It was not a secret anymore. It was a choice. I am hitting a personal record on deadlifts today, she said. I need a spotter who actually knows what he is doing. You available? For you, I said, taking her hand in mine and lacing our fingers together for a second before we let go. Always. We walked to the platform. She chalked her hands and stepped up to the bar. I stood just behind her, ready. The gym noise faded at the edges. She pulled. The bar moved smooth and strong. Hips through, back tight. The plates clanged as she set it down. She turned around, cheeks flushed, eyes shining. "How was that?" she asked. "Perfect," I said. She smiled in a way that went straight through every layer of my chest. I had the title. My dad had his rehab. The weight of money and fear was still there, but it did not own me anymore. And standing in front of me, in leggings and chalk and sweat and happiness, was the woman who had walked into my gym with a clipboard and a wall around her heart. She had told me her legs were sore and asked if I could help. Now she did not have to ask. I was not just her trainer, I was her partner. In the gym, in the fight, and in whatever came next.